This is the Toxic Boss and How to Say No. And I want to point out a few things that I'm thinking about as my boss is trying to get me to stay late. And I've been in a situation before, and if you have been too, it's very difficult to say no to somebody, especially because you want to impress them, you want to prove that you're pulling your weight, but also because your financial health and wealth depends on whether or not this person is going to keep you employed or if they're going to say bad things about you.
Chris, it looks like you're leaving, man. Where are you going?
I'm going home. I have plans, Greg. What's up?
Look at my watch. I'm like,
it's 8 o'clock.
Yeah. We have a lot of work to do. Come on, man.
We do. I know. I'm looking forward to doing the work tomorrow.
So why are you leaving us? Like, look around. Everyone else is here. Everyone else is staying. Where are you going?
And they'll use all kinds of tactics to pull you into staying late. So you'll notice that the first thing I do is I try and smile. It's one of the disarming techniques that I use because it changes the tone of my voice. It makes everything I say sound a little less confrontational. And that's really important. The minute that you start to say something aggressively, the other person has no choice but to respond aggressively. And in this battle, they have a lot more leverage than you, so you're going to lose most likely. The other thing is, I just agree. They're like, yeah, let's try and get this thing done. And I was like, yeah, I was trying to get it done too. So we're not in disagreement yet. I'm looking for something for us to disagree on. And this is usually how I get the other side to come to my side. I just agree with them mostly. And then there's usually some gap in their logic.
Hey, Greg, can we talk to the side?
Okay.
Right. I do notice everybody else is around. But when you booked me, we talked about this before. Now to work to 7 o'clock. But I'm here till 8. I'm thinking I'm doing a solid by you.
So here's another thing I'm doing. I'm saying quietly to my boss, just kind of to the side. First of all, I'm slowing the conversation down. I'm speaking almost in whispering tones. But in doing so and asking if the boss and I can have a private conversation to the side, I'm showing respect. I'm saying you are in control. I'm not trying to exert myself over you. I'm actually being submissive in this moment.
Are you going back on our agreement?
No, but you know how it goes. Some of these projects are just crazy. You can't foresee stuff, and these guys are staying late nights. If you don't, it feels like you're not part of the team here. What's going on, Chris?
Okay, so for every part here, you hear me saying, I know, I'm in agreement with you. We're not fighting, we're in agreement. And then this is where the boss changes the tune, and this is the part where I'm gonna have to disagree with.
Yeah, but everyone's working till at least 10 or 11.
I know.
Come on.
Well, I can't say about their productivity. All I can say is if you want to look at my work and review it with me tomorrow, I've given you a solid 9-hour day for an 8-hour quote. If you want me to stay longer, I can possibly. Again, I have to check with some people, but I'm going to charge you more to do that. Are you okay with that?
Okay, this next part is where I restate the terms of our working together. I say, I put in a solid 8 hours, which is what we agreed to. So did something else happen? Are you going back on your word? And one of the most powerful forces in people is the need to be consistent. So if they told you it's an 8-hour day and today they decided it's going to be a 10-hour day, it's going to be really hard for them to change their mind. It's really difficult.
I don't know. We are tight on this budget. We're I don't think we have any more money to pay you. I got the rest of the team. They're putting in the time. They're not worried about it. We just want to get this done. We really need your help.
Okay, that's cool. Does it sound fair to you to agree to something ahead of time and through circumstances that I'm not in control of, how I manage or how I bid this project, how I estimate it? I didn't do any of that. That is not something that is my mistake, but yet you want me to pay for it. Is that right?
Chris, I think we're all in this together. We got to work like a team and just really kind of tackle it head on. And if you want to be part of the team, I think it's important that you stick around.
Okay, so here at 2:15, the boss is threatening me right now in so many ways. If you read between the lines, Greg is saying, if you want to be a part of this team, meaning if you don't want to be a part of this team, you're not going to do what I asked. So there's an implied threat here. It's not explicit, but it's implied.
I think it's important that you stick around.
Hey, let me ask you a question, Greg. Do you like the work that I'm doing?
You're great. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm glad you can agree to that. I am a part of the team. I am doing the work. I am. If you want more than that, I'm happy to give it to you, but not at the cost of my own time. I'm not willing to do that.
The boss seems to ignore everything that I'm bringing up in terms of consistency, sacrifice of time, increased pay. They've ignored every single thing. Now I have to ask them a question. It's a dangerous question to ask, but I already know the answer to it. Rather than me saying what it is I want to say, I'm going to ask a question to force the boss to come into agreement or not. And the question is, do you like the work that I'm doing? So here's the thing. I already know the answer to this question, because if they don't, the conversation wouldn't be around, hey, we need you to stay extra. We need you to stay late. We need you to put in more time. It's more that your work isn't just cutting it. I'm just not happy with the work at all. And if the boss began the conversation with that, then I would know, okay, I'm in trouble. They don't like my work. And I know that I'm not pulling my weight. But that's not the case. This case is you do good work. You've worked hard. You've been focused the entire day. And no matter how good intention you are, some people are going to take advantage of that. So by asking and forcing this question upon the evil boss, they're going to have to acknowledge you do good work. And so then they're going to have to surrender or capitulate.
If you want to work for free for your time and everybody else here wants to work for free on their time, that is cool. But I do have plans, sir.
Okay, so now at this point, I need to let the boss know that there's a consequence to the decisions that we're making here, that it's going to cost the boss more if they want to book me and hold me on the job for a longer period of time. But I also have other obligations. In this case, it could be I have a dog sitter. Somebody's looking after my dog. I could have a babysitter. I can have dinner plans with my wife and my parents, my siblings. I have other things to do, and I plan my life accordingly. And what the boss is doing in this situation is they're making their problem my problem, and I'm just letting know, I'm as a human being, I have other obligations. I don't just live my entire life planning to work here at undisclosed amounts of time, in which I'm booked forever until they say no. This is not a situation where you're a nurse or a doctor and you're on call, where there are people who literally might live or die depending on whether or not you show up. This is just the boss trying to get more work from somebody, and I need to let them know there's a financial and a personal consequence and a price to pay for all of this stuff.
If you want to work for free for your time and everybody else here wants to work for free on their time, that is cool. But I do have plans, sir.
I'm doing the symmetry of logic. You've heard me speak about this before, to say, like, if you want to work for free, and that's your prerogative. If the entire team wants to work for free, that's their prerogative. If they have nothing else better to do, they can choose to do that. I just don't choose that, and that should be my right to choose.
I don't know what to say now. You called me sir, and I'm like, what?
Okay, so 245, Greg is just confused, right? I put it in front of him, so there's nothing left to argue. So he's flummoxed right now. He doesn't know how else to respond. Thanks for watching this video, guys. This whole thing was about managing conflict, and in this case, it was about managing and protecting your own time, which is really important. Regardless if you have legitimate plans or not, you've made an agreement. The company who has hired you has agreed to that, and so that should be the bond that holds you together. Now, from time to time, you might want to put in a little extra, and you might agree, and they might ask you, but this should not be the company policy. If you feel like there's a toxic work environment, use these strategies to change the conversation, to move away from a very negative confrontational place to one in which you guys can agree on some basic principles and values.